Hello there, everybody. So HeroicLegend here. We are back with Sultan Sanctuary, the Zealotry Challenge run. I didn't do the grinding that I was supposed to. And the reason why is because, obviously, I was not feeling well. I wanted to just play more relaxing. I wanted to play more relaxing things. So, obviously, ain't much relaxing time when you're losing salt left and right. But I figured I could do a little bit of grinding on screen for a bit. Kind of in a weird spot. I know where I have to go because I have to do next, but you know. No drops, unfortunate, but basically 10k for what? Few casts? On top of that, they are, if I can find them, no, not the Impaled Knight, although they are just as terrifying. Yeah, the Crypt Keepers. They can give me King's Orders, which can help upgrade normal things to their max, which would help out a lot. Right now, we just want... Sorry, just like... No, you don't. Also, if things are a little bit scuffed this recording, I apologize. The reason why is because, I believe my computer was updated, my laptop was updating last night. And it was taking a bit longer than it should have, so I just turned it off. Which probably resulted in, I forgot to put on the grasping ring, which probably resulted in an update not going correctly, so... Yeah. Also, let's not count those first two that, you know. Those first few that, I did without the grasping ring, which could have saved me time. There we go. Not have to go that far. Yep. But no, I figured, you know what? Let me try my idea. Not gonna lie, got a little scared there. Sir? Seriously? Yeah, no, that is genuinely terrifying. Okay, you know what? There we go. One aggroed. Both aggroed. They're desynced, that's fine. Oh, didn't matter. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So that was an extra 1,000 I could have been getting, so we're just gonna ignore that. The drops were their ashes, which are useless to me. But yeah, I figured, you know what, let me use this to try a little something. So, I was talking with my Papa Bear for a bit. Doing a lot of work in the house and such, and I figured I would just, you know, talk to my dad. Oh, okay. It is a test to HeroicLegend Patience Day type of day. So the salted one is gonna take a little bit longer. If they'd behave a little bit, that'd be nice, but... They like double their HP or something, cause... Brother. Okay. There we go. But yeah, what I was saying before, you know, noises caused my mental to dip for a little bit, and of course the enemy who's decided, yeah, now's the time where we're gonna have clown physics. Yeah. People wonder why I cheese guys like these out. Actually, I hope no one does. If it's easy grinding, it's easy grinding. Doesn't matter, you know. But so I'm a little bit nervous to do this, as you can obviously tell by the fact that I haven't started talking about it yet. But I'm a nerd. I don't think this is shocking news to anyone who's watched the channel. I'm a nerd. I'm a big nerd. I don't just mean that because I'm a big guy. I mean I'm a big nerd because I'm very my hobbies, my interests are very much nerd related. However, I'm also a bit of a writer. In that regard, I tend to be a little bit critical. I tend to be very critical of shows, of anime and such, right? Because I like anime, I like watching anime, I like reading manga. And a large part of what I like about it are the stories that get told. You know, and I have a lot of, my interests tend to vary a lot. You know, it can go from like little cute slice of life things to straight up like super dark, super edgy stuff, you know. Cause I'm not above edgy. I'll admit when I like something, I'm just like, oh, it's edgy, it's cool, you know. But what I can't stand, though, I have a few like I know I've talked about it before, and I've talked about it probably way more than I've even really thought about. But with more than just my one buddy who used to recommend me manga and anime to watch, as well as some manhwa and webtoons as well, most of which I've actually finished, I figured I'd give talking about this type of stuff a little bit of time, and that's just because I feel like I get very passionate about it, like my dad was saying. I get very passionate about it. I have very strong opinions about it. And again, I just want to let everyone know before the pitchforks and riot gear come out, these are opinions. I'm not asking you to agree with me. It'd be cool if you did. I'm not telling you should agree with me. I'm not saying I'm right. This is simply my thoughts and my views on certain things in the anime world. Right? Now, there's always one anime whenever I talk with friends that I always talk about being my kind of most hated. Well, there's two. There's two big names for me. And the first one is just due to the message. Now, I'm an optimist and an optimistic guy. I like being happy, I like being bubbly, I like looking at things that... I like believing that things can and will be better. You know. I'm also a bit of a realist in that regard, too. I understand that, you know, change is going to come because, you know, someone magically was like, oh my goodness, I should change! No, change is going to come when it needs to. When either it's forced to, or it absolutely needs to, and there's no other way, right? I understand that. However, if there's one thing I can't stand, it's the heavy-handedness of some of the... I'm gonna catch flack no matter what I do, so you know, let's strip off the band-aid. I don't like nihilism. I don't like it. In truth, it just seems like something that would stress me out, and probably will stress me out if I keep dwelling on it further. Nihilism and nihilistic tendencies, I can't wrap my mind around, you know. And again, maybe that's just because of how I was raised. Maybe it's because, you know, I just don't get it, and I'm quite frankly, I'm fine with not getting it. I like to understand and I like to try to figure out things, but quite frankly, nihilism is just one of those things that I just do not care for whatsoever. It's one of those things that I'm just like, but is there a point to it? You know, like, what's the ultimate? What is the ultimate gain of believing in, or believing, or of not believing, right? What is the point of this? Like, aside from a talking point, and aside from some people who base their personality on it. You know, it just is. Perhaps I don't want to understand. It's another thing too. Maybe I just don't want to because I'm worried about like what they could bring about, you know, or what type of effect it would have on me as a person, you know. Because I've had my lows, I've had my downs. Ow. I'm drinking because he decided to be a big jerk. Being a big jerk. There we go, now you're in sync. Anyway. Why am I talking about nihilism and stuff like that? Well, because that leads me into an anime that I just don't like. And that is Devilman. Strictly the Devilman series as a whole, really. And what upsets me the most is, from a conceptual point, I like Devilman. You're telling me that, well, first off, you're telling me that in this world, demons are real. And it's basically modern day. Okay, that's already cool to me, right? Because we get all the modern day conveniences and applications and appliances and such. We get all that cool modern day stuff. But now we also have a mystical element of devils and demons, right? And of course, saving the argument between devils and demons and yada yada yada, D&D, we're all nerds. You know. The cool part is, you can effectively take over a demon as a human, you know, and you gain their powers, but it's not your standard power gaining. It's not just like, oh my god, I got a power now, I'm super. No, it comes with a downside, a real downside. You know, your personality changes, your desires are driven up way high. It's like, even though you won the internal fight and didn't become a full-fledged demon, you still lost a bit of yourself to it. You know? And that alone is so fascinating from a conceptual point, because you're like, well, okay, how serious are the changes? How do we know that these are actual? There's also the question, you know, are these actual changes? Did the person just always have these desires and they just suppress them? Is this a more unhinged version of their personality? It's so interesting and unique. It's such a cool idea. And again, correct me if I'm wrong. If there's another show out there that did the similar prospect, that did a similar concept, please tell me. You know, if it's much better than Devilman, I'll give it a shot. I'm not above taking recommendations from folks. You know, I originally had, you know, some thoughts about a buddy of mine who was just like, I recommend this. I'm just like, eh. And it's mostly because he wasn't really much of an anime guy, but, you know, much love to my boy. Reaper, my boy. But I didn't take his recommendation super seriously because, you know, he wasn't that big of an anime head. And maybe that's a little bit super judgmental of me, and that's not cool. Because I took recommendations from a guy who literally I just vibed with well, and I was like, to be fair though, he's been freaking spot on with everything. And I hate him for it, because there's so many more things on my manga and anime list, and I'm just like, I'm never gonna finish watching all this. It's gonna be old and gray, but off track, back on topic. Devilman upsets me because they're so focused on telling this just downer, almost mean message. And the whole point of it is to get this, like, ideology across. At least that's how it feels like to me. Because from a story concept, I absolutely abhor the it doesn't matter because it was all a dream. It doesn't matter because things are going back to normal anyway. Like, then what's the point? What's the point of the story? Why bother telling it? As a cautious tale? You could have told a cautious tale while not destroying everything. You could have... it pisses me off so much. It pisses me off so much because, like... I just want people to see my side of things and not, like, you know, dogpile me. But... and again, like, don't take it so seriously. I'm just a big, silly dude on the internet. I talk about this because it bothers me. And, you know, maybe it bothers you too. Maybe you're watching and you're like, you know what? This dude be spit. And to you, I thank you. I hope you're enjoying the content, aside from these little rants of mine. But like, it makes me so just angry. It just seems like the story and the characters and the author want to be miserable the whole time, and I'm like, even from, I feel like it should be told, it fails from a nihilistic standpoint because nothing matters. It's I don't get it, and it just bothers. It bothers so much. Like, I can understand the real problem I have with it is, I remember reading the synopsis of the earlier Devilman stuff, and how one, and quite frankly, if you have a character that's made just to, you know, bite the dust, like, don't keep the. It doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. I keep repeating it because it does. You know, and what bothers is there are some deep and powerful messages in Devilman. So if you're curious, I'm specifically talking about Crybaby because that's the one I watched. And mind you, I did not finish because I couldn't. I tried. It's just unfun. If you find fun from it, cool. If you enjoy it, good for you. I hope you keep enjoying it. I hope that what I say doesn't change your opinion on it, and I hope you keep finding joy out of it. If you get it, if you understand it, once again, I'm happy for you. And like I say, just don't let my words sway you or like talk you out of it. But just I can't find myself enjoying it. I can't find myself being like, oh yeah, this is something I want to spend my free time doing and watching. Because the nihilistic mindset alone just confuses me so much. But maybe it's because I take things to the extreme. Maybe it's because I am that guy of, if it doesn't matter, then why bother? You know. But for me, like, you know, I keep getting off track. I'm going to talk about the moment. This was one moment in Devilman which I found, like, wow. Like, it was a powerful scene to me. So, and I'm sorry, but if you have not watched Devilman Crybaby and you're crying spoilers, I'm pretty sure there was a way you could have viewed the whole thing somehow. Anyway. So, the scene in particular that I'm talking about is... I might be misremembering it if I'm being entirely truthful, because maybe, you know, maybe it just left such an impact on me that that when what happened next happened, it just ruined everything, and I merged the two together so quickly. But for me, the scene was... It's at this point in the story where everyone is accusing everyone else. Oh, you're a Devilman in disguise. Oh, wrap them up and put them in, like, you know, toward blah, blah, blah. So there's like almost a public execution. Here's the thing I got it. They like to get finicky, but basically people are hanging up on wooden crosses, right? And they're encouraging everyone in the community, you know, throw stones at them, stone them, you know, they're devils in disguise, blah, 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 they'll reveal... And the Devilman, Akira, comes in and basically gives, like, a little, like, pseudo-speech about, you know, how they're acting like the real devils here, and these are their own people. And he's taking, you know, the rocks being thrown at them by himself. You know, he's trying to block as many people as he can, because he knows it's wrong what they're doing. You know, and while he's doing this, I don't remember if, like, they pause for a moment, but a child goes up to Devilman, right? And the kid hugs his leg, and he reaches down, and you see the difference in size. This kid's head could easily fit in Devilman's palm. And with Devilman's strength, he could crush his head. Easy. Wouldn't even be a problem. Right? But when he pats the kid's head, and they realize what they've done, that message is so powerful, where they start taking them down and getting them clothed and saying, we're gonna help you, we're gonna get through this, you know. Like, it's such a beautiful scene. It's such a heartwarming scene because they've realized the error in their way. They realized that they were wrong, and they want to try to make amends. And they want to try to fix it, and they want to try to be better. And what happens immediately after? Oh yeah, Devil Beam through the crowd. And the devils are here because they wanted to fight Devilman. Like, let that scene hang on for a moment. Let them clear out. You can still get your fight scene. You can still get all that. But no, they did that to make a point. Like, oh, it doesn't matter that they saw the errors of their ways and they want to try to help and fix things. Nope, all that matters is we gotcha, viewer, we gotcha, haha. You know, that's how it felt. That's how it really felt to me. It felt like here's a nice moment, and we're gonna ruin it entirely just because, just to make a point. And like, at what point do you stop writing, you know, a story to be an interesting story and just write it to be, to make a point about your beliefs? You know, and perhaps I'm upset because I feel like I was tricked. You know, I watched this and I felt like I was tricked into watching this because I was hoping that it would be different, and I felt hurt and betrayed because it wasn't different. You know, maybe that's why I get so angry and annoyed at it, because I truly felt like this could have been a better telling of this story, and it wasn't. It wasn't. I had a way worse time watching, and I felt like it was just a whole bunch of misery for no other reason than just we're trying to make a point about nihilism and such, and I'm just I could not find myself having any sort of fun with it. To me, the whole show seemed so pointless and so hollow, because the whole thing was just I feel like the whole thing was just screw you, nihilism. You know. And again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe to someone else out there this helped, or like, you know, there was so much more to the story, and perhaps I'm just missing out on it. I don't know. I don't care. And I don't care because, like, the story already took me so far out of it with all the little nonsense they threw at me as an audience. You know. And again, maybe I am, you know, being extra mean to it for that reason alone. Maybe I am just being mean to it, period, because, you know, it was a big old bummer of a story. But can you blame me? Can you blame me if the story's a bummer and I'm just like, meh? Because, like, I don't know about you, you know, and again, I cast no judgment here, but why would you want to watch a story like that? Like, from a story perspective, too, don't you want to watch a story where, like, first off, you like the characters. Second, you want to see them get through the harsh stuff and succeed and get through it okay. Is that not what we watch stories like that for? Is that not why we read manga and anime for? Maybe it's not what you do, but it's certainly what I do, and perhaps I was just not the right audience, and I accept that fully. But this Devilman Crybaby was the chance to be like, hey, we want you to try out this show. And I go, okay, what's it about? And they say, it's about people who turn to devil people. I feel misled. I feel tricked. You know? It's just, I don't quite grasp how people, like, because I remember looking around too, because I was curious about what people online were saying about it. And aside from, like, from the animation and the voice acting, I could find no one who defended the story. And And that spoke a lot to me. That really, like, just showed off how, like... Huh. I might get this. Requires some essence scaling, though. Oof. Can't use that either, because... Is there any of these that have a wisdom scaling? Don't think so. What about shields? Sorry, got distracted, but just... For me, I just don't... I don't understand how people can have fun with a story like that. I don't understand how people can enjoy a story like that. It doesn't... I not understand. You know. And again, I fully admit, maybe it's just not for me. Maybe I would have enjoyed it better if, you know, I had a similar mindset. Maybe I would enjoy it better if it just didn't, like, do so many things that I felt were wrong. And again, I'm more than willing to admit that. I'm more than willing to admit that perhaps I was just, you know, I was just not the right audience for it. Perhaps it was never meant for someone like me to watch. And again, if that's the case, fine. I got no qualms with that. You know. And to make a point too, well, at least for my whole thing, for me, I can read things like Kingdom and Berserk and still be alright with it, because I feel like they want that, like the author wanted the character to succeed. You know? I feel like they were like, yeah, they're gonna get through this. And I'm like, yeah, I like that. You know? And I can watch and I can read stuff like that because I can feel like the characters are gonna make it. They're gonna be able to get out and do the thing that they need to, or just make it through the thing. But I can't do that with something like Devilman. You know? Yeah, it looks like I'm going back there, by the way, because I do want that big sword. Never used it, so it's gonna be cool. But again, that's, like I said, that's just me. And I apologize for this Yap session. There's gonna be more of it to come because, yeah. Anyway, for what it's worth, I want to thank you all for watching and do hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, you know what to do. Much appreciate you for doing it. Until next time, I just want to say, laters.